Alright. Alright. Hello, hello. Alright, I'll lower the music. Alright, there we go. Alright, where's the game? Where's the game? Go, I think I have it off. Let me turn on the audio. There we go. Okay. Think everything should be good. It should be good. Alright then. Alright then, we're finally live. Well, we're gonna continue Higurashi. Last chapter was pretty good. Had a lot of build up. Shion is trying to tell Keiichi, yo, they might have found out that we snuck into the secret shack, you know, with the secret stuff, and she's getting kind of paranoid. Keiichi kind of snapped at her and was like, oh shit, shouldn't have done that. And Oishi was like, yo, yeah, you know what's going on, don't you? And obviously the townsfolk are like, kinda like, I think we're gonna start seeing some clear signs of hostility from the humble folks of Hinamizawa. So I guess let's figure out what happens next. We read all of the little notes at the end. From what I remember, I'm trying to remember what the notes were. I think one of them was confirming that it was Takano and Tomitaka-san who obviously died. But oh yeah, Takano did not go missing. She died because they found her body, and they're sort of assuming that she was sort of left there to be found. Like, you know, it wasn't like hidden away and they just somehow found her. They kind of were like, oh no, she, like, whoever did this wanted her body to be found, essentially. Meaning that the reason why Shion was paranoid was because the only other two people who would get punished for this is Keiichi and her, and they're both, you know, still alive, you know. So chances are they're gonna get demoned away, essentially. So yeah, that's what's going on. Anyway, let's continue the story. There was no way I'd be able to sleep. Boom, boom, boom. Then she hung up. When she hung up the phone like that, I realized for the first time what kind of situation I was in, as well as who the only ally who would support me was, as well as who the. This is kind of worded weird. I know I'm bad at reading, but as well as who the only ally who would support me was. I think that's just written kind of weird. I waited with bated breath for Shion to calm down and call me back. What would I do? What would I do if the phone rang while I was sound asleep? No matter how long I waited, however, it never rang. Exhausted, whenever my mind started to wander, I would jolt awake as though I heard the phone ring. In the end, I brought the cordless phone with me into the futon and went to sleep with it in my arms. Though it still didn't amount to anything. Morning came, and by that time I was pretty sure she wasn't calling back. That was when a fierce drowsiness assailed me. No time to sleep. I slapped myself in the face a few times. Then I went to the washroom and washed my face which was something I usually didn't do. That wasn't enough either, so I wouldn't brush my teeth. After that, I was finally wide awake. When my mom saw how strange I was acting, her eyes went wide.
どうしたの、ケイイチ? 今日はどこかにお出かけでもするの?
学校に。
I'm going to school. Oh, what, is it like Saturday or something and he didn't even realize it? Oh no, I guess it is just school.
ケイイチ君、なんだか今日も調子悪そう。
Yo, bro, you look kind of whack right now. Did you catch a cold? Yeah, I mean, give it to me.
寝不足なんだ。
I'm not sick. I just didn't
寝
get
ぼ
much
けて
sleep.
わけのわかんないことを言い出したら、フォローよろしくな。
ケイイチ君、寝ぼけたらどんなこと喋り出すのかな
Oh yeah, I recently learned that her voice actress for Rena is one of the characters from what's it called? Clannad. I never actually watched Clannad. It's the one anime that kind of passed by me, even though I was watching a lot of anime around that time. But the main girl, I don't know her name, but the main girl, apparently they're voiced by the same like actress.
ちょっと楽しみかも。はう。
I felt utterly shattered, and I still hadn't picked myself up this morning. And for precisely that reason, Rena's honest smile was a sight for sore eyes.
よ、
Oh shit.
ケ
Yo,
イ
what's
ちゃんに
good?
レナ。
What's up, Kid-chan?
おはよ
Yo, what the... Why are you sounding like that?
う。あれれ
Yeah,
みー
what?
ちゃんもなんだか寝不足な感じだよ。だよ。
Mion had gone home early yesterday with a hangover, but she didn't look too good this morning either. Her usual cheerfulness was completely buried in shadow.
うん。寝たの3時ぐらいだからね。
Ah, that's light work, girl. You're good.
Nemui.
Well, I guess what time you wake up? Like 6? Then that'd be kind of annoying. I'm a little tired.
3時？昨日に続いてか？
Right after yesterday?
おいおい、夜更かしにも限度ってもんがあるぞ。大方漫画の単行本が面白くなっちゃって一巻から読破してしまったんだろ。うんうん。
That's
俺
funny.
にも経験があるぞ。
I think I've done that before too, where I like just read something. Like, it's funny, sometimes I would be like sleepy and I would read something or whatever. And then like that would take away my sleepiness and I just finish whatever I was reading. I joked trying to shake off my sleepiness. I was trying to be considerate. However, neither Mion nor Rena smiled. In fact, they didn't even pay attention. Rena's expression immediately darkened.
あれ
What?
ひょっとして村長さんのこと？まだ見つかってないの？うん。
おい、ちょっと待ってくれ。村長さんが見つかってないって何の話だ？
Even the classroom, which was normally bursting with bright, joking voices, seemed filled with a different sort of murmur today.
おはようございます、ケイチさん。
Oh yeah, what's good?
聞きました？なんだか大変なことになりましたわね。
俺はその村長さんって人をよく知らないんだが、ジジイなんだろ？ボケて徘徊してるだけじゃないのか？
He's probably
村
senile
長
by
さんは
now.
ボケてなんかいませんですわ。
Mary ain't
お習
senile.
字も教えるし、剣道も教える、はつらつな方でございますの。
Calligraphy and swordsmanship.
僕と同じで、きっとどこかで迷子なのですよ。
Got lost somewhere like me.
迷子いいね。はう、お持ち帰り。
Getting lost in is only cute because children like Rena, like Rika-chan, do it. A worn-out old man getting lost isn't moe in the slightest. I'll never forget this one time. I was talking to my friends. We were all hanging out, and then I forgot what game. Oh, it was I think Doki Doki Literature Club. We were all going through it because we used to do like LPs and stuff, and we did an LP of that. I think no, we did a live stream of that. And my friend, who he watches anime, but he's not like the biggest and like otaku. Like he's not an otaku. He's not like indulges in like the super otaku culture. So when the word moe came up, my friend just read it as mo, like feeling very mo or something like that. And I guess me and my other friend, we just looked at each other and was like, yeah, yo, homie's like a normie, bro. While my mind entertained dumb thoughts like that, our teacher arrived. Everyone rushed to their seats.
皆さん、お
Buenos
はようご
dias.
ざいます。
Yo, it's good. The class greeting was normal, but the atmosphere in the room was heavy.
すでに聞いている方もいるかもしれませんが、昨日の夜、村長さんが夜遅くに皆さんの中で、昨日村長さんを見た人はいますか？
One or two hands went up in silence. And then they told her about having seen him. None of it seemed to be vital information, however, and everyone began whispering amongst
も
themselves.
しも村長さんを見かけた人は、大人の人に教えてあげてくださいね。それでは授業を始めます。
After that, the same old lesson began. The rumors, once quieted, blossomed in flowers again at lunchtime. I could hear a few different conversations. They were mostly related to the mayor's disappearance. Summing them up, I came out with this. Yesterday evening, the mayor went to a meeting at the Shrine Assembly Hall. The meeting ended after the sun had fully set and everyone left. The elder's house was a bit far from the center of Hinamizawa. It was already late and Hinamizawa didn't have a lot of light outside. Nobody saw the mayor after that meeting. However, because he would have been hungry, he wouldn't have taken any side trips and would have gone straight home. However, no matter how long his family waited, he never returned. Some thought that there might have been an accident. They left no stone unturned. They searched from the irrigation channels to the water wells and even the rice paddies, but they didn't find him. Of course, there was a limit to how far they could search in the middle of the night. The police were going to wait for daylight. They have the young men of the towns help search. If after all that they still didn't find him, they were apparently even going to go looking in the mountains. Even now, at this moment, the adults were probably all searching for him. The more they searched in vain, the more time passed. The only thing that came to mind was the curse. Oh, like he's the one who got like spirited away, or demon away, my fault. Onikakushi, the demoning away. Had he come this year's sacrifice to Yashiro's curse, which had recently been occurring every year, the scary possibility which everyone thought about nobody could say out loud, was slowly but surely spreading throughout the village. Was he demoned away and offered as a sacrifice to quell Oyashiro-sama's anger? My classmates were whispering to each other that the curse didn't happen this year, so there shouldn't have been any sacrifices. I, on the other hand, I knew. The curse did happen again this year, and there were 2 people that died. This may sound strange, but I hadn't exactly thought the elder would be the one to go missing. The one to go missing. My reason was clear. Shion and I have been a higher priority than him. The 4 of us were thieves and broke the taboo and set foot in the sacred ritual storehouse. If Tomitaka-san and Takano-san had suffered mysterious deaths, then it should have been my and Shion's turn next. Excuse me, it should have been Shion and I. This time, I laughed painfully to myself. I yelled at Shion over the phone that I didn't want to end up in such a terrifying situation, but now that someone other than me had disappeared, I could only think that I should have been the first to go. Onigafuchi, the bottomless swamp, said to have been the place where they drowned sacrifices long ago. Just as it ran through my thoughts, the villagers must have also considered the swamp. Maybe police drivers were plummeting in its depths even now. Police drivers? They probably wouldn't find anyone. Not a single missing person had ever been found. They always suspected Onigafuchi, yeah. But not only have they ever turned up not once have they ever turned up a corpse from it. After all, it was devilish, bottomless swamp from which no one who sinks can ever return. I could hear someone telling their friend that in the classroom. Oh, okay. Nani? Satoshi. I heard that name before. He was right. He disappeared because of last year's curse. The conversation was happening in the seat next to me, so I couldn't hear it clearly.
サトシさんの時も確かこんな風に村中で探したんじゃなかった。あれも見つからなかったんだよね。あれって結局どうなったんだっけ。確か鬼隠しじゃなかったんだよね。うん。貯金を全部下ろして家出しちゃったんだって聞いたよ。
Oh wow, okay. We got some of this information the first time around.
新幹線に乗るところを見た人がいるとか言ってたもん。
On the bullet train at Nagoya Station. Ran away, huh? I wasn't that interested in the reason, which seemed understandable in this case. Everyone else who disappeared had their own reasons too. Either they were still on the run because they were criminals, or they were a corpse that couldn't be found. It's not like any of them suddenly disappeared into air for no reason, but they disappeared. Someone disappeared whenever the curse took a life, as if by design. They may have had various understandable reasons, but they still disappeared. From that point of view, it really might have been a demoning away this time. The mayor's disappearance was the first such incident without a clear reasoning behind it. Of course, coming to that realization didn't help to resolve anything.
今日は味の加減を間違えちゃったみたいだね。ごめん。
I messed up the seasoning. Sorry. Normally Rena's lunch would have been devoured immediately, but today there was still a ton left. That wasn't because Rena's lunch didn't taste good or anything though.
そんなことありませんのよ。レナさんのお弁当は今日もとっても美味でしたよ。
Satoko dips her chopstick into Rena's bento box and pulls a bit of food out, one after the other.
ええ、おいしいおいしい。今日も格別でしたよ。
God damn, girl!
あれ、それかぼちゃのコロッケだよ。大丈夫？
What? Is she allergic to pumpkin? Or does she just not like pumpkin?
レナさんのかぼちゃならとっても美味しいですわ。
If it's your pumpkin, it's delicious. I love Rena's pumpkin. Did Satoko dislike pumpkin? Oh, okay, we don't even know. I actually thought they might have mentioned that. Regardless, she forced herself to smile and shove more into her mouth. Everyone knew. Nobody's lunch tasted very good today. Satoko kept shoveling it down, repeating her remark on how good it was.
そんなにうまいなら、俺もいただかないとな。このままじゃ全部サトコに食われちまう。
あんまりにも美味しいので、ぜひケイイチさんにも召し上がってほしいですわね。
Yeah, why don't you have some too, man?
たまには俺も年上らしい寛大さを見せないとな。よし、遠慮するな。今日は俺の分まで食ってよし。
Oh my god, Keiichi, you jerk.
うわー。
She really hated pumpkin, didn't she? That made it all the more touching to see Satoko's own brand of generosity. I grabbed her head and started stroking it. Satoko is somewhat exaggerated fashion, was bawling, tears streaming down her face.
嘘だよ。そんなにうまいものを譲るほど大人にはなれないよ。レナも食え。俺のは夕べのおでんの残り物だが、おでんは一晩経ってからがうまいんだぜ。
お大根が綺麗な色に透き通ってて美味しそう。じゃあ、
It
いた
looks
だこうか
delicious.
な。
I guess I'll have some. Rena reached out her chopsticks, and at last the usual lunchtime atmosphere began to return. That was only at our desk, however. The dark tales of Oni Oyashiro-sama's curse, which had recurred for 5 years in a row, didn't cease. The whole classroom remained stuck in this somber mood. Yeah, it's kind of hard to be like excited during like this like somber ass mood. Oyashiro-sama's curse had happened for 5 years straight. Everyone had wanted the previous years to be the last. What was Oyashiro-sama's curse anyway? They were going to build the dam in Hinamizawa. The people building it were bad, so they were cursed. I would admit that much. Still, the dam project was frozen years ago, wasn't it? So why was the curse stubbornly persisting? I hit myself on the cheek and perked myself back up. Everyone was trying hard to brighten the mood. I couldn't go straight back to thinking about the curse like that. I forced the grim story out of my head. Driving Oyashiro-sama's curse out of my thoughts was actually a good idea. By the end, that meant I would also be driving away the most terrifying thought of all, that I could be the curse's next target.
しかし、ミオンは遅いな。あいつのお手洗いってこんなに長いのか？
She's got dirty ass hands, bro. What can I say? Mion had said that she was going to wash her hands and left. She hadn't come back yet.
多分どっかでお昼寝してるんだと思う。昨夜はきっと遅くまで村長さんを探すお手伝いをしてたんだと思うから。
I smiled wearily and let out a sigh. Today was no good. However much we tried to lighten the mood, things always came back to the mayor. It was just a no good day. I had just transferred here recently, so the shock of a curse happening 5 years running was an unimaginably big one. Maybe I need to appreciate that.
村長さんはね、ちっちゃかった頃、みーちゃんのことをすごく可愛がってくれたんだって。いたずら盛りのみーちゃんをすごく可愛がってくれたって。よく話してたな。
I see. Mion was in shock too. Someone disappeared at all because of a curse was a very scary thing. If the sacrifice was someone you knew, though, then the shock must be 100 times worse. Satoko, as if she'd come to the same conclusion, bit her lower lip and looked downward.
そういえばリカちゃんも遅いな。ひょっとしてリカちゃんも仲良くお昼寝か？
Maybe they're taking a nap together.
リカはそんなに遅くまではお付き合いしませんでしたわ。リカがあくびをしたら、皆さんみんなしておやすみなさいませ、おやすみなさいませって。
Now that she mentioned it, there were a lot of old people rubbing their prayer beads in fervent gratitude towards Rika-chan during the festival too. An image of an indulgent elderly came to mind. Had Rika-chan discovered a way to get back herself to the pampering like that?
リカちゃんって何気に年寄りのアイドルだな。理想の孫娘像ってやつなのか？
そんなの知らない。でもリカちゃんのあくびなら見てみたい。
Oh my god.
きっとね、ふわーって。
It's probably like that.
お持ち帰り。
I want to take her
そんなに
home.
可愛いとも思いませんけど。
I don't personally think it's that
ふ
cute.
わーって喉の奥まで覗けるくらいの大あくびでしたよ。
Oh my god.
リカちゃんの大あくび。はー。
Rena handy at times like these. I finally managed a heartfelt laugh. All right. I'm on day duty today, aren't I? I need to go water the flower gardens. The garden's right outside the teacher's lounge too, so they can immediately tell if you don't do it right away.
リカちゃんのだけじゃなく、さとこちゃんのも可愛いと思うわ。大あくび。きききき。窒息。はあ、ちらっと見えた。可愛いの見えた。さとこちゃんのあくびも可愛い。お持ち帰り。
Oh my god. Rena was strangling Satoko. God damn, girl. I don't think that counts as yawning. You know Rena is, I can't say it out loud, but she's a notorious censor, isn't she? Sweat. Whoa. A notorious what? Like pervert? Hentai? I don't know what they're trying to say. Sweet. Oh, it said sweet. I said sweat. Sweet. I think it might be pervert. I think he might be calling her a pervert. Hearing Satoko made a weird noise like that, like a chicken being strangled, was kinda hilarious, and I couldn't help but laugh. At some point, the classroom had erupted into laughter too. Maybe Rena was doing it on purpose. If she wasn't, this nonsense was a welcome sight. Anyway, let's get over to the flowers while I still have time. Slowly, at last I destroyed the classroom's newfound peace. I left the classroom. The watering can was hanging up outside the kitchen. This building had originally been an all-male forestry service building, so there were apparently nothing so thoughtful as a garden here before. When they decided to have a school share the space, they built one there as a modest gesture of appreciation. But, well, the flower bed, it was a little longer than you'd expect. It went all around. It went all over the place. It was so big, one would need to refill the watering can 5 or 6 times to get it done. I was doing this together with a kid who was also thankfully on day duty today. She was in the lower grades, though, and a full size smaller than even Rika-chan. I couldn't make a kid who would struggle just lifting a full watering can help me with this. If you were placed on duty with someone who liked this sort of thing, they do it all for you, so it'd be...
悪態をついても仕方ないな。諦めて仕事を始めるか。
Watering can in hand, just as I was about to leave the building, the old man from a forestry office addressed me.
兄ちゃん、倉庫裏に菜園があるだろ。だいぶくたびれかけたぞ。あそこにも水をやってあげな。
ああ、カレー菜園ですか？じゃがいもとか人参とか、カレーの具しか栽培してないっていう。
It's definitely the personal garden of our curry-loving teacher, but making students responsible for its upkeep is getting them involved in her personal affairs. I couldn't say that to her face, though, so I gave up and decided to carry out my day duties. The sunlight out front was strong. The great chorus of cicadas was strongly underlining how nothing was different today than yesterday. Passing by the classroom, and I didn't know how it happened, but Rena and Satoko were in the middle of a huge melee. While I was gone, the kids had arranged all the desks in a circle, forming a ring, while everyone was cheering them on. Yeah, that's how it should be. Once school ended, we would need to return to reality where talk of the elders' disappearance would once again be all over the place. I wanted everyone to forget about everything and have fun, just like yesterday, if only while they were at school. In that sense, Satoko whirling elbow and Rena's backwards flying spin kick made for a pleasant sight. Even if, as a result, they flipped over my desk. That's my pencil box. Just like that. I'll just let it happen today. Yo, they destroyed my Ultraman pencil box. I set to work, hastily watering everything, wanting nothing more than to be done as soon as possible. That should about do it. No sooner had I thought that than I remembered that I had to water the teacher's curry vegetable garden too. Yo, fuck CL Senpai, bro. Oh, sorry, CL Sensei. She's a teacher. I gave up, filled the can with water again, and headed behind the warehouse. Here's where we get the spicy shit. Who's behind the warehouse? This was the place students didn't like to go. It was always a dump here, and you couldn't discard the possibility of slugs and pill bugs being around. So when I ran across her in a place like that, I was surprised. Whoa!
Rika-chan ka?
Oh, Rika-chan.
驚かせるなよ。
Rika-chan was standing there like a puppet, devoid of life. I was the only one who was startled here. Rika-chan didn't seem to react to my appearance.
Rika-chan?
Finally, she noticed me. Oh, her expression was clearly abnormal. Yeah, hold on. Whoa, what is that face? Yeah, it's not like mad. It's kind of like... It kind of looks slightly like annoyed. Like she might be like annoyed that you're here. There was red under her eyes, stained from tears and dirt. Ooh. There was a blade of grass stuck into her hair too, and her clothes looked as though she had fallen to the ground. Whoa, whoa, what's happening?
ひょっとして怪我したのか？転んだとか？
うのですよ。
Whoa, whoa, what the fuck is happening?
違うのです。
Rika-chan said in in the brightest voice she could manage, as she rubbed her eyes. She didn't look anywhere near normal
何があ
though.
ったんだ？まさか倉庫の屋根の上で昼寝とかしてて落ちたとか？
What the fuck? Who would do that?
僕のことはいいのです。
Huh. Yeah, like these new sprites are kind of limited. Like this one and this one give off completely different vibes than this. Like I don't like the art style in these, but if it was consistent with what these other ones were trying to tell, I wouldn't mind so much.
それよりも、圭一に聞きたいことがあるのです。
Ask moi? You want to ask me something? Whoa! Yo, not so close, girl. What the heck? Personal space. Rika-chan walked over and clung to me. Whoa, 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 girl. Personal space. At first, I thought she was playing a trick on me. Eventually, however... Stop with that motor. Whoa, whoa, whoa. No, no, not the creepy music. Eventually, however, I realized it was so that I wouldn't run from the question she was about to ask. I shuddered. Yeah, what the... Yo, that ain't cool. Don't do
俺
that.
になんだよ。
What do you want from me? Yo, chill. I didn't do anything. She looked straight into my eyes. Her upturned eyes bore right into me. It was as though she was trying to pull the answers out of my own eyes without actually asking me the question. It was scary, so I averted my eyes from hers.
圭一、お祭りの晩に何か悪いことを
Oh
しま
my
したか？
goodness. Oh my goodness. Ya es tiempo. It's finally time. We're about to get punished for what we did. See, this is why you don't go in creepy sheds and closets, boys. My body gave a jolt from its very core. Oh my goodness. Rika-chan, who was clinging to me, might have felt my shiver. A nervous tingle crawling up from my feet, and after going up my back and freezing my entire body, it made its way to my brain.
圭一、
My brain!
本当に覚えはありませんか？
Do you really not remember? Is this like asking like, oh, are you lying? Like, oh, don't you remember what you did? You know, like that? Like if Keiichi says, no, I didn't do anything. Like she's like, oh, are you sure you didn't do anything? You do not remember? Or is this like implying like some memory shit? Like his memory got erased or something? I don't know. ... My head began to throb. I don't understand anything. Mion asked me. Oyoshi asked me. Shion asked me. And now Rika-chan was asking me. We thought nobody knew about what we did last night, but in fact, everyone knew. They all knew. They all came back to ask me again and again until I admitted it. Then I thought about it. It was pretty clear the whole thing was out in the open. After all, don't Tomitaka-san and Takono-san's death prove it?
圭一、
How should I respond? We never should have entered that forbidden storehouse, and even though I regretted it so much, was she saying it wasn't enough? That theme that this series has of like apologizing and forgiveness, like this sort of idea that apologizing isn't enough. Like it's not enough to apologize. And at the beginning, Keiichi's phrase was like, come on, she apologized so much, why don't you just forgive her? Is there really something like someone did that is unforgivable? And I don't know if like the theme that's gonna consistently persist like in this story is like the idea of like there are things you cannot forgive. There are things that are unforgivable. Or if it's gonna be like you can forgive someone for something, but it's gonna be very hard. Like, it's just not gonna be easy. However, I had but decided what I was going to say.
俺もそこが悪いからな。
Ooh, what a... That's like you're saying, yes, I did do something without saying, yes, I did do something. What a way to phrase it.
悪いことの覚えが多すぎて見当がつかないよ。
Reminds me of the line from Sakura, I'm a bad girl. If you know which Sakura. Just as I had with the others, I evaded the question. Yeah, he definitely did. Rika-chan stared up at me with innocent eyes. Her eyes were so painful that I had to look away. After a few moments of mutual silence, Rika-chan released me.
変なことを聞いてごめんなさいなのです。忘れてくださいなのですよ。
Please forget about it. She said, smiling her usual smile. Oh my goodness. Then tap, 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 tap. She went running off, as if nothing had happened. As she retreated in silence, I could feel her accusing me. ...
リカちゃん。
Rika-chan. If she didn't hear my voice, then I was going to give up. However, she heard it. Rika-chan swirled around and waited for me to continue. I was the one who had questions now. Still, asking any of them could be just a half-assed way of admitting what I did.
なあ、リカちゃん。
はいなのです。
If everyone knows anyways, then I should be able to at least ask this, right? Why is everyone asking me about the night of the festival? That evening? Had I done something that wrong? I felt plenty sorry about it, and I only looked away. And I only looked anyway. I didn't break anything or steal anything. Really? Still, Tomitaka-san and Takano-san, they died so miserably. Since those two had come to such an end, there was obviously no way it would forgive me only. Rika-chan cutely tilted her head in confusion and waited for me to say something. If I were to admit to what happened that night, though, she might have suddenly do a 180 and as if flipping a switch. That would make sense. Rika-chan was a shrine maiden. She was the least likely to forgive me for breaking the taboo, wasn't she? Upon reflection, wouldn't telling her be more terrifying than telling me on Oroshi-san? Rika-chan could just give up and leave, couldn't she? She didn't. She only was quietly waiting for me to say it myself. Say it, Keiichi Maibara. If you really are sorry, then you should say so. Of course, it's normal to hesitate, given the crazy way Tomitaka-san and Takano-san died. A pumping machine called Chaos was grinding up my brain. The juice wrung out of it. Turning into drooping droplets of sweat, which began to fall.
ケイチ、
Rika-chan suddenly straightened up, trying to pat me on the head.
ケイチが何を悩んでいるのか、僕にはよくわからないのです。
I had nothing to say about that. I lowered my head a little so that Rika-chan and palm could reach it. She patted me, kind of like one would act a cat.
境内の裏を少し行ったところに大きな倉庫があるのをご存知ですか？西宮殿と言いますです。
My breath literally stopped. Rika-chan, though, wasn't acting in coercive way at all.
お祭りの晩、その西宮殿に猫さんが入り込んだのだそうです。
猫？
A cat?
.猫さんです。にゃーにゃーなのです。
Rika-chan knew. She realized I was in fear. I could tell she desperately trying to choose the right words so that she wouldn't scare me.
猫さんは 前から西宮殿の中を探検してみたいと思って、でも僕が意地悪をして中を見せてあげなかったのです。
I was mean to it and never let it go in. Is she talking about Shion? She might actually be talking about Shion and not me.
なので祭りの夜、猫さんは我慢できなくなって中に入ってみましたのです。
The cat? It was clearly supposed to be Takano's. Oh yeah, I guess it could be her. Or wait, was it supposed to be me? No, I think it's either Shion or Takano.
猫さんが怖がるものがたくさんあったのです。
Rika-chan made a cute gesture like a ghost was coming out of a fright
猫
to
さんは
frighten
び
me.
っくり仰天。一目散に逃げ出してガタガタブルブルニャーニャーで大変なのです。
その猫が誰だって言うんだ。
猫さんは猫さんです。
The cat is a
ニ
cat.
ャーニャー。
Rika-chan still avoids saying it. The cat, though, was without a doubt me.
リカちゃん、頼む。その猫さんはこれからどうしたらいい？
Maybe it was a desperate question to ask. I had sort of admitted to being the cat.
猫さんは猫さんですから、ニャーニャー泣いてるだけで大丈夫ですよ。
大丈夫って、そんないい加減な。
ニャーニャー泣いてるだけではダメなのですか？
Geez, Rika-chan and I have put together an entire conversation using cat as a code word. I didn't say it directly, but I had already admitted it. I didn't want to end up like those two. I didn't want to be a sacrifice like Shion said. That's what I thought, so I stubbornly remained silent. But now that's enough.
泣いてるだけじゃダメなんだ。猫さんがいたずら心で忍び込んだのを。
犬さん。
そうだ、犬さんなんだ。猫さんのところへ代わる代わるやってきて、忍び込んだだろうって問いただしてくるんだ。
Wait, sorry. I didn't really read that carefully. Okay. She was trying to hide it, but I already noticed her eyes darkening. And there's a big ass van coming here.
リカちゃん。
The silence was frightening, so I spurred her on. At that point, Rika-chan grinned.
大丈夫ですよ。猫さんは僕が守ってあげます。
I'll protect the cat. Huh? I thought for a moment that I had misheard those words, so dependable they were.
猫さんはとても怖がっていますが、本当はそんなに大変なことではないのです。何匹かの犬さんがきっと勘違いしてるだけなのだと思います。
そんなに大変なことじゃないって。
It's not all that bad?
猫さんの心配しすぎなのです。
The cat is worrying too much.
僕がきっと何とかしてあげますですよ。
I don't even know left from right at the moment, so Rika-chan didn't look at all that dependable.
ちょっと大変ですけど、頑張りますですよ。
Gambi da.
おーなのです。
Go for it, yay. She clenched her fist and stuck it into the air. Rika-chan said that the cat can just keep meowing. She said to leave it all to her. Is that really all it took to resolve this whole thing?
本当にリカちゃんで大丈夫なのか？
Will you really be alright, Rika-chan?
僕が頑張らないと、犬さんも大変なことになってしまうかもしれないのです。
Okay. I had no idea what Rika-chan was talking about anymore. Yeah, I'm like, well, okay. She had been talking to me under the assumption that I was aware of certain things. So at first I understood her. Around the middle, though, I stopped understanding anything. However, one thing I did know was to not worry and leave it to her. Rika-chan straightened up once again, patting me on the head and smiled. I was so moved by the reassuring feeling that I couldn't help but start to cry.
ごめん。
I'm sorry.
猫さんも、本当に、ちょっとしたいたずらのつもりだったんだ。こんなことになるなんて、全然。
猫さんは臆病すぎです。だから見せたくなかったのです。
She was right. It was far too shocking for anyone to see based on a little bit of interest alone. That's why they made it so difficult to look at it in the first place, wasn't
リ
it?
カちゃん、その猫さんは、どうなるんだろう。忍び込んだ2匹の猫さんが、その。
Oh, she said, does she not know that there was two? That's the question. Does she not know that there was two? Because he just said two of the cats. Oh shit, ... I heard Tomitaka-san and Takano-san's dents were being kept secret. Rika-chan might not have known about it.
富武と高野ですか?
Oh my god, she actually just said it. I gave a start at the sudden motion of actual names, though it's weird to do that at this point. Oh god, my leg is falling asleep. Oh my god, I can barely feel it.
忘れると良いのです。
You should forget about them. My spine froze again.
忘れる?
Forget?
はい。あの二人のことを思い出すことは、考えれば考えるほど怖くなるだけです。
The scarier it
だか
will
ら
be.
早く忘れた方がいいのです。
She said something so enormously terrifying without letting the smile off her face waver
ど
at
こ
all.
で聞いたかわかりませんが、綺麗さっぱりお風呂でゴシゴシするみたいに忘れちゃうと良いのですよ。
A scrub bubble bath.
忘れるって言ったって。リカちゃん、あの二人が、どういう死に方を。
どんな死に方をしても、それは、圭一とは関係のないことなのです。
It had nothing to do with you. Rika declared this in a flat voice. Nothing to do with me. Yeah, I was about to say it has nothing to do with you. So forget about it. The girl before me, she was an innocent, lovable, and even seemed trustworthy, but suddenly she took on another dimension. Don't get involved with their deaths. I'll help you, Keiichi. Those two contradictory statements twisted and distorted my image of the girl in front of me.
シオンは
Oh shit, what about Shion?
あいつはどうなるんだ?
It might have been dangerous to mention Shion's name, but I couldn't stop myself from asking. Rika-chan saw through everything anyway. There was no way I was going to fool her or keep anything from her at this point.
姉妹猫の妹ですか? にゃーにゃー。
そうだ。
Alright, hold on. Is Keiichi really the cat in this situation, or is it actually Mion and Shion? The sister
妹
cat?
猫だ。
Rika-chan appeared to think upon this for a moment. It was hard for me to endure even this momentary silence.
姉猫は怒ってます。
Ooh, the big sister cat is
妹
angry.
猫が悪いことをしたので、とても怒っ。
姉猫って。
That could only mean Mion. I recall being questioned by her yesterday.
圭一、姉猫はとても機嫌が悪いです。しばらくの間、そっとしてあげてほしいなのです。
Not in a good mood. Those words sent shivers through me. Mion was mad? She was mad that we entered the ritual
今
storehouse?
日から部活はなしにしましょう。
なんでだよ。
そっとしてあげてほしいからなのです。
Rika-chan ended her sentence with us with such force that I couldn't say anything in response. Hey Keiichi Maibara, don't disobey Rika-chan right now. She's the only one who said she'll help me right now. I'll leave things to her just as she said to. I mean, she even said that the cat should just keep meowing. I'll forget everything, like she said. I'll leave everything to her. I'll forget everything about Takano-san and Tomitaka-san and what I did that night. Just then, we heard a bell far away, marking the end of our lunch break.
じゃあ、校舎に戻ろうか。
ケイチ、
Yo, what's good? As if she'd noticed how miserable I was, about to leave everything to her and fleeing the scene, Rika-chan called out to
勘
me
違
to
い
stop.
の犬さんが猫さんに噛みつこうとしたら知らせてくださいね。
Ooh. Who is the dog, though? The misunderstanding dog. She put it in such a cute sounding way, but the true meaning behind those words was an eerie
勘
one.
違いの犬さんって。
Who is the misunderstanding dog?
村長を噛んだ犬さんです。
The dog that bit the mayor.
どうして村長を噛んだのか、僕にはわかります。噛むなら、いたずら猫さんを先に噛むはずなのにです。
The flow of blood in my body felt like it completely stopped for a moment. Rika-chan had admitted it. The sacrifice of that terrible calamity. She admitted that if they were to happen again, it would be Shion or I. This, I didn't know what was true about the girl standing before me. My suspicion gave way to fear and nearly began to change into anger. Was she a savior who would protect me? Or a stranger trying to capture and kill me for the sake of the horrible tradition? I had no idea what was true.
ごめんなさいなので、猫さんが怖がっているのに、また怖がるようなことを言ってごめんなさいなのです。
Rika-chan bowed so quickly it looked like her head had been pulled downward. Still, she was right. I was cowering. I could distinctly feel my body shaking violently. So when Rika-chan reached her hand out and pat me on the head, I pulled away without thinking.
お、
ごめん。
Rika-chan made a sad face, but I couldn't bring myself to put out of my head for her again. That day, Rika-chan said she wasn't feeling up for club activities, so she would suggest we don't bother. There's always vetoes when someone doesn't feel up to it. Rena and the others seemed really disappointed. The big sister cat is not in a good mood. I remember Rika-chan's words and quietly stole a glance at Mion's expression. If I could forget the way she questioned me yesterday, though, her behavior was the same as it always was. She's just smiling. Ooh, and then they just leave it on this? Oh god. That is terrifying. After dinner, without the energy to watch TV, I climbed into the futon in my bathroom. I let my head be overtaken by gloomy thoughts. I told Rika-chan anything and everything. She had seemed trustworthy at the time, but had that really been the right choice? The more I look back on it, the less I understood what Rika-chan was saying. Not only did she know about Takano-san and Tomitaka's deaths, but she spoke of them as if she were a concerned party. After all this time in my futon, I began to tremble fiercely. Had I been lured in by Rika-chan's sweet smile and told her things I should have continued to feign ignorance. I should have shown her such a weak side of me. My emotions are a mix of regret and fear, and it colored the darkness of the night with an additional layer of terror. Suddenly, a knock. I might have yelped. That's how surprised I was.
さっきから呼んでるぞ。電話だ。園崎さん
Oh
から。
shit. Oh shit. Here we go again. It was Dad. I reached out for the cordless phone through the gap in my door.
園崎さんって、どっち？姉？妹？
そんなのは知らん。
Yeah, how's he supposed to know?
自分で出て聞きなさい。
That's for yourself, bitch. Oh my god. That's terrifying. Which one is it?
もしもし、
Hello? Hello?
ミオンか。
Oh, why did you say that? You should have just waited until someone said something.
シオンか。
Oh my god.
私です。
It's me.
シオンです。
Oh shit.
こんばんは。
I practically jumped out of my bed. It was Shion, who I hoped so desperately would call me back last night.
シオン！ゆうべはすまなかった。つい興奮して。
I heard the sound like a deep sigh on the other
俺
end.
もシオンも同じ立場なんだよな。一方的に責めるような言い方をして悪かった。もうしない。謝るから機嫌を直してくれ。
機嫌を直したから電話したんです。後悔したなら許してあげますから、もう謝るのをやめてください。
Ah, wow. Okay, that's actually a full-on callback to the original line. If you're apologizing, then just forgive me. Shion's tone still sounded a little angry, but for the moment she said she'd
姉
forgive
ちゃん
me.
の言うように、私たちは運命共同体なんです。互いの無事の確認が自分たちの安全の唯一の保証なん。
ああ、それについては。
だから私たちは互いの知っている情報を共有する必要がある。高野さんたちみたいな死に方をしないために。
Gulp. I forced myself to swallow a solid drop of saliva.
昨日の続きを話します。もう怒らないで聞いてくれますよね。
ああ、大丈夫だ。
まず、私たちが思っている以上に西宮殿に忍び込んだことは禁忌、タブーだったみたいです。
Takano-san and Tomitaka's miserable ends terrible enough that you could call them a warning. They were more than enough to make me believe
犯
that.
人たちは西宮殿を怪我した首謀格のあの二人を殺し、次に私たちを狙います。否定したいでしょうが、これ失踪してから認めてももう遅いんですよ。
わかってるって。用心に越したことはないからな。
私もあんな拷問道具の博覧会を覗き見したことがあんな殺され方をする理由になるなんて絶対に信じたくない。
That's what a taboo is. For those who honor it, if one breaks the taboo, no matter how small or innocent their intentions were, they wouldn't be forgiven.
何か気になることがあったら報告し合いましょう。互いの持つ小さな断片を合わせていけば、ひょっとすると高野さんたちを殺した、いえ、今年の事件に限らない過去の連続事件を解決する鍵が見つかるかもしれません。
そうだな。
You're
確か
right.
にそうだ。
All I was doing was waiting in fear, but Shion had already thought of that far ahead. Given how trustworthy she felt, I became embarrassed over the of how passive I was being.
では、まずは言い出したわ。最近、誰かに監視されているような。
Oh fuck. No. I don't like that feeling.
え？
と言っても、気のせいかもしれません。でも、今は気のせいだと思っていますけど、もしもケイちゃんも同じように、これは気のせいじゃないのかもしれませんから。
そういうことなら安心しろ。少なくとも、俺の方は大丈夫だ。
I think. I love that. Like, the moment you get an idea in your head, you're gonna start thinking about it like that. As I spoke with Shion, I thought back on today. I had no grounds to say that everything was
そうで
fine.
すか。では気のせいということにしますが、ケイちゃん特に一人で表を歩くときは、私は沖宮ですから、一人きりになることはそうそうありませんが、ケイちゃんは一人ぼっちになることも多いはずです。特に注意してください。
そうだな。ああ、気をつけるよ。
それから、お姉なんですが。
お姉って、ミオンのことか？変わった様子って。
先日、私、お姉に渡流しの夜の所在について問いただされました。
え？
Nani?
それは俺もだよ。一昨日かな、ミオンに聞かれた。
やっぱりですか。私は言ってないと答え。ケイちゃんは？
同じだよ。ごまかした。
Both of us gave a quite sigh of
渡流
relief.
しの晩以降、お姉の様子はおかしいです。用心に越したことはありませんので、注意してくださいね。
Mion was acting strangely. Aside from her asking me about the night of Watanagashi, she hadn't seemed too out of the ordinary, at least from my point of view. Her twin sister, though, was saying she was acting weird. Maybe it was such a slight change that a stranger like me wouldn't be able to
わかっ
notice.
た。少し用心するよ。帰り道は必ずレナも一緒だから、二人きりになるってこともそうそうないしな。
用心してください。気になることがあったら教えてくださいね。
わかった。
では、ケイちゃんの方では何か私に話すことはありませんか？あ、ケイちゃんが逃げ遅れたあの時の話ですね。
ああ、大石さんにかなり強い口調で聞かれ、あの晩、高野さんたちと一緒にいなかったか、シオンに会わなかった。大石さんは俺たちが4人一緒にいたところを見ていたようだった。
警察にしてみれば、高野さんたちが最後に会った人間、私たちに興味を持つのはある意味当然で。
こっちもごまかしたけど、かえって興味を持たれたかもしれない。
That might have just made him more interested. There was no way I could have tricked that sly fox Oishi. My troubled conscience would have only made him even more certain.
なあ、シオン。警察なら行っちゃってもいいんじゃないのか？むしろ俺たちの状況を思えば、警察を味方につけるのはプラスだと思うぞ。
Shion didn't answer right away. For a few moments, all I could hear was her breathing as if she thought about it.
そういえば大石さんはミオンに何らかの嫌疑があるなんて言ってたような気がする。うん、確かにそう言ってた。
昨日も話しました通り、園崎家はひなみ沢に強い影響力を持っている。大石は一連の連続開始事件を園崎本家が中心になった村ぐるみの犯行だと疑っていますから。
園崎家が中心になった村ぐるみの犯行
？Please don't get angry like you did yesterday and just listen. I hammered that home before I got too upset.
ひなみ沢のダム闘争の時、リーダーシップを期待された神主があまりに日和見だったので、園崎本家が首謀閣になって決起したんです。戦いの歴史についてはお姉から聞いてますよね。
ああ、ひなみ沢全体で一丸となって戦ったんだろう。デモをしたり裁判に訴えたりテレビに出たり。
実際はもっともっと過激なこともたくさん行われたんです。園崎本家が水面下で様々な違法な抵抗活動を行ったと言われてます。
違法な抵抗活動？
例えば夜中に建設現場に忍び込み、機材を盗んだり壊したり、建設重機のガソリンタンクに角砂糖を入れたりとか。
ガソリンタンクに砂糖？
Is sugar in their gasoline
なんで
tanks?
そんなことを？
知らないんですか？戦争中にフランスの地下組織なんかがやった典型的なゲリラ活動ですよ。
砂糖を入れるとエンジンが焦げついて壊れちゃうんですよ。
That's pretty bad though, isn't it? It's destruction of property and
建設
nothing
現場への
less.
監視が強化されると、今度は工事の重要な立場にある人間への攻撃に変更されました。例えば工事を認可した役人たちには様々な脅迫が行われました。それは県庁の役人だけでなく、建設省の偉い役人にまで及んだそうです。聞いた話では、子供の誘拐までやって
What the fuck? Whoa. Hold on. Whoa. When beefed up the guards at the construction site, the family turned to attacking important construction personnel who worked there. The government officials who had given permission for the construction, for example, received all kinds of threats, not just people from the prefectural office either. Apparently, this reached as far as the Ministry of Construction. As far as I've heard, they even kidnapped a child once.
誘拐？
ええ、建設省の日並沢ダムを担当する偉い人の子供が神隠しにあったんですよ。で、ある日突然、南沢のもっと上流の高津戸の山中で保護されまして。犯行声明はなかったって言われてるんですけど、ダム工事を中止するようにとの脅迫があったのではないかと囁かれています。他にも枚挙にいとまがないほどの脅迫の話があります。
それは確かにちょっとやばいな。
そんな最中だったんですよ、第一の事件。現場監督のバラバラ殺人があったのは、園崎家が主犯格の男を買収したのではと囁かれてますが、何しろ今日も逃走中ですからね。犯人も口封じで消したんじゃないかって大石は思ってるみたいです。当然ですね。身内である私ですら、園崎本家の暗躍があったのではないかと思ってるくらいですから。
それを俺に信じろってのか？ミオンの園崎本家がそんな悪いことをやってきたと信じろというのか？
ケイちゃんが信じ
I mean, I believe it.
村人たちは信じてます。自分たちが綺麗な抵抗運動をする陰で、園崎家が汚い抵抗運動をしてくれた。自分たちの矢面に立って戦ってくれたんだってみんな思ってます。ですからちょっとしたダークヒーローとして崇められているんですよね。
Ah,
私
okay,
が知ってい
okay.
るのは本当に一部だけだと思います。例えば誘拐なんかの特にヤバい話は、当主のバッチャーを含めほんの数人しか知らされてないと思います。園崎家は秘密主義ですから。
So not a lot of people know about the worser parts. Secretive, huh? A family so unforthcoming that even Shion, who is related to them, doesn't know everything about them. The Sonosaki family. Unlike Shion, her older twin, Mion, was deeply involved with everything, and that was not a fun thought to entertain.
そういった違法な抵抗運動の中心として年少ながら活躍したのがお姉でした。
Whoa! She acted as the center of the illegal resistance movement.
どういうことだよ。
うちのお父さん、ヤクザの大物ですから。
Big shot
年
Yakuza.
少のお姉でも若い柄の悪いのを何人も従えることができました。で、様々な嫌がらせや妨害をやってのけたんです。
ミオンが。
今はなんだかのんびりした雰囲気だから想像もつかない。器物破損から脅迫、暴行まで一通りこなして何度も補導されたんですよ。 子供ですから、すぐに釈放してもらえたみたいですけどね。お姉は自分の年齢が武器になることを知ってた。
Oh shit, that's actually crazy. Yeah, that is true. That is true. May have been indiscreet, but I couldn't help but chuckle dryly. She may have been young, but she was certainly still Mion. Even back then, she was already been known for her craftiness.
笑い事じゃないです。
I don't know, it is kind of funny.
真剣になってください。
あ、悪い。
Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh at that. Shion had gotten pretty angry at me.
まあ、そんな不良娘だったお姉も、いつの間にかそのだけ本家の重鎮。大石がバラバラ殺人以降の事件を疑いたくなるのも、まあ無理ないことです。
For a few moments, I was dumbstruck at the tale of Mion's past. None of them matched the image I had of her. A younger Mion dirtying her hands with all sorts of crimes, giving the damn construction project hell. As the successor of the Sonosaki main family, she was always right at the center of the vortex of strange incidents occurring year after year. Was that really the Mion I know? Maybe the one I know isn't the real Mion. I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't bring myself to accept these images of Mion I was hearing from another person.
話を戻します。お姉が注意に値する存在であることは理解してもらえたと思います。注意してください。
I didn't want to understand. Mion was a fantastic friend. She wouldn't never do something to back me into a corner like that. She did ask me pretty harshly about the night of the festival, but even that, it wasn't like she said it in a mean way or anything.
わかった。気をつけるようにするよ。
私とお姉は血のつながった姉妹ですが、園崎家にあっては私とはとても遠い存在だということを認識してください。お願いします。
The more Shion tells me about Mion, the less I understand who Mion is. The Mion I knew wasn't a dangerous person. She joked around, smiled a lot, and was full of passion. Now that I realized I held such a view towards her, Shion was telling me to change it? To be careful around my best friend ever? To be careful around the best friend ever? Oh, that's kind of cute. To doubt her? The idea was very sad and painful.
大石の件ですが、ケイちゃんがいいと判断するなら、必要な情報を与えてもいいと思います。やはり警察を味方につけるのは私たち。
やっぱりシオンもそう思うか。
ただ今説明した通り、園崎の人間はそもそも、特に大石は園崎家が丸ごと連続事件の黒幕だ。それはもちろん私も含むですから、私はあまり大石には関わりたくないんです。
I see. If Oishi-san had found out that the Sonosaki family's strife-filled history, he'd probably wouldn't be very happy with Shion either. At least I understood Mion's instinctive dislike of
どう
Oishi.
せバレてはいるんですが、一応私の名前を伏せておいてください。それだけ守ってくれれば、大石には何を話しても問題ないと思います。
わかった。伏せるようにするよ。
警察の捜査力は今の私たちにはとても心強い武器になると思います。大石が興味深い話をしたら、私にも聞かせてくださいね。
ああ、もちろんだ。
Yeah, of course.
情報は互いに交換し、研究士高野さんたちを殺したのは誰なのか、そして俺たちを狙うのは誰なのか、それがわかるまで、俺たちは自衛し。
あとはありますか？大石に聞かれたこと以外は、身に起こったことは、どんな些細なことでも教えてください。
Oh, sorry. I think I read that too fast. I don't know if anyone didn't read that. Aside from my discussion with Oishi-san. Oh. Should I tell her that I revealed everything to Rika-chan? Rika-chan was acting like she knew something I didn't. She told me to leave it to her. But what? Oh, that's right. When I was talking to her, I mentioned Shion's name too. Was that a mistake? I felt like Shion would get angry.
何もないんですか、ケイちゃん。
I had to remain quiet for a little while, so Shion encouraged me to speak, unable to bear the silence.
と
Eh,
As I struggled with what to say, Shion addressed me
ないよう
instead.
でしたら、私から聞きたいんですけど。私もついさっき聞いたんですが、君吉のおじいちゃんが行方不明になったって、本当ですか？
My gut told me that was the name of the
村
mayor.
長さんのことか
You mean the
なん
mayor?
だシオン、聞いてないのか？
何も知らないです。お父さんが電話でそう話してるのを、また盗み聞いただけですから。
I realized I shouldn't have said that. Here in Hinamizawa, the thing that happens around this time when Oyashiro's curse would recur, would all be covered up.
実はな、昨べ会合の後、家に帰ってこないとかで、ひなみ沢中で大騒ぎになったんだ。村中で探したみたいだけど、まだ見つかったって話は聞かないな。警察も探してるはずなんだけど。
What the hell is that?
なんでそんな大事な話を先にしてくれなかったんですか？
Oh my god, that actually kind of scared me, I'm not gonna lie. She shouted angrily at me, bringing up her emotions to
悪
bear.
い。もう知ってると思ってたんだよ。隠す気なんかなかった。
The receiver went silent. Did Shion get mad again and hung up?
おい、シオン、もしもし
Yo, you there?
ケイちゃん、
Whoa, 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 whoa.
私、どうしよう。
Whoa, 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 whoa. Shion's tiny, confused voice sounded like it belonged to a different person than the one yelling a few seconds ago.
話せよ。俺たちの間で隠し事はなしだろ？
Shion hesitated for a long while, but then she
ご
confessed.
めん。隠すつもりはなかった。ちょっと言うのが前後したっていうか。
俺たちは仲間だろ。
We're on the same
怒ったり
side.
しないから正直に話せよ。
Shion still hesitated for a moment. For a few moments, then, in a resigned voice, she continued.
私、君吉のおじいちゃんに
Whoa!
打ち明けたんです。
Whoa! Okay, okay, I see what's going on. Shion seemed to think that I would yell at her right after she said that, so I heard her catching her breath. Contrary to what she thought, I was a little relieved. Shion had done the same thing I had when I confessed everything to Rika-chan. So, in a gentle voice as I could, so not to set her off, I
君
responded.
吉のじいさんってのは、シオンにとって相談できる心や。
はい。私のことを小さい頃から本当に可愛がってくれて。
Shion felt the same pain as the rest of us from the mayor's disappearance. She had a different kind of strength from Mion, and as she continued, her voice sounded truly sad and pained.
私、いつも意地悪なことをしてたのに、私の言うことは何でも聞いてくれて。
Ooh, this voice actress is doing a really good job right now.
本当に優しい人だったのに。
落ち着けよ、シオン。
Calm down, Shion.
別に死んでしまったわけじゃないだろ。そんな簡単に諦めるなよ。
Shion didn't answer. Even as I said it myself, I didn't think we'd ever find a missing mayor again. We probably wouldn't even figure out if he was alive or dead. Shion must have been thinking the same thing.
村長さんに、私、最後でに忍び込んだこと、誰かにそれを見られてて、私たちを狙っている人がいるって。
村長さんは、高野さんたちがまともじゃない死に方をしたのを知ってるのか？
はい、知っていました。あの二人がお社様のたたりで死んだから、私はその怒りを鎮める生贄にされるんじゃないかって、本当に率直に言いました。
ああ、それで？
君吉のおじいちゃん、そして にっこり笑って、しおんちゃんがちゃんと反省してるなら本当に笑いながら任せなさい。
Oh my god, this voice actress is really killing it right now. Unlike Shion, until Shion stopped sobbing, I was unable to find any words for her. I couldn't imagine what kind of person the mayor was, nor what Shion's relationship with him was like. Words of comfort, however, mean so much to us when we're about to be crushed by anxiety. Today, Rika-chan taught me that too. If someone who gave me such sense of security were to disappear, then I guess what kind of shock Shion was
私
in.
のせいです。私が。
よせよ、シオン。シオンのせいじゃないよ。
私のせいなんです。
Oh my god, she's really freaking out.
打ち明けてしまったから、君吉のおじいちゃんが。だから、殺されてしまったに違いない。だって、打ち明けてすぐなんですよ。打ち明けて、大丈夫って言ってくれたその晩に消えてしまった。
He found out, so he became involved.
じゃなかった。これは全部、私たち4人の咎だったはず。他人に話してはいけないことだったんです。話したから殺されてしまった。だから殺されてしまった。打ち明けたから殺されてしまった。
おい、待てよ。そんな奴なら、打ち明けた村長を殺す前に、お前から先に殺すに決まってるじゃん。順番が違うよ。殺されるなら、俺かシオンが先、他の奴らが先に死んだりするものか。
順番はあります。私たちを一番最後に殺すつもりに違いない。
は？なんだって？
人思いに殺さないで、親しい人たちから順々に殺していって、散々悲しい思いをさせた後に殺す、そういう狙いに違いないんです。
落ち着けって。シオンは今ショックを受けてパニックを起こしてるだけなんだよ。村長の失踪
Yo,
は
I'm panicking right now. What the fuck?
無関係だ。高野さんたちの死とも全く関係ないんだ。
My words came out as a scream, as if I was shouting them by myself.
関係あります。絶対にそうなんです。私が話したから殺されてしまった。だから殺されてしまった。打ち明けたから殺されてしまった。
She repeated the same thing as before, as though she were in a delirium. Despite me trying to console the crazed Shion, for some reason the shadow at my feet began to freeze. From the shadow, a cold arm reached out, so cold it seemed like it would freeze even my heart just by touching me, and grabbed my ankle. The heat generated by my body and arms was absorbing it. It was horrible chill. A freezing cold, numbingly frigid. It was an unavoidable chill of fear. Though I sympathized with Shion, I had been naive to thinking it was something only she had to worry about. In my head, Shion's eerie words repeated again and again. He was killed because I told him. He was killed because he found out. I confessed everything, so he was killed. Those words echoed through my head like a monotone mantra. And finally, those even repetition took on meaning. The quiet shaking that had already taken over me turned into a violent shiver that shot up my spine.
リカちゃんだ。
今、なんて言ったんですか？
俺も実は打ち明けたんだ。リカちゃんに今日。
リカちゃんってリカちゃまのことですか？古出神社のリカちゃま？
そうだよ、リカちゃんだよ。俺もどうしようもなく不安で打ち明けたんだ、リカちゃんに。
Oh my god, this is stressful.
リカちゃまはなんて？
What did she say? The cat is worrying too much. I'll do something about it for sure. That's what Rika-chan said, and then she smiled. She smiled just like the missing mare had when she encouraged Shion.
ごめん、シオン。俺、ちょっとリカちゃんのことが心配になっちゃって。
はい、そんなに心配でしたらぜひ電話を、安否を確認してみてください。
ああ、そうさせてもらう。
また明日もこのくらいの時間に連絡します。
Yo, why don't you give me your number so I can call you?
それをもって私の安否確認としてください。
See, that's how you get girls' numbers, boys. You just ask them during a life and death situation.
わかった、待ってる。
Got it, I'll be waiting.
すまん、切るぞ。
Okay, so tomorrow I can see that you're gonna get a call from Sonozaki. It's gonna be like, Keiichi, Sonozaki's calling. And that time Keiichi's gonna pick up, be like, Shion, it's you! And then it's gonna be Mion. And he's gonna be like, oh fuck. The danger to Shion and myself was secondary at this point. My sixth sense was blaring alarms in my head. I don't like this feeling. It's really bad. It's definitely bad.
無事でいてくれ。リカちゃん。
Rika-chan. Aw, shit. That's not the end of the chapter, is it? That would be kind of a weird way to end it. Oh, fuck, that is the end of the chapter. Damn, I'm kind of curious what happens next, though. Oh, shit. Alright, hold on, let me just save. Alright, let's view the tips. Their punishment isn't over. From a scrapbook, number 8. The three families in modern times. As previously described, the three-family council today is a mere shell of democracy. In reality, it is a dictatorship run by the Sonozaki family. But the Kimiyoshi and Furuta families are far from their former glory, and it doesn't seem at all like they've maintained the ancient traditions. Only the Sonozaki family has retained their glory from the past and has inherited many colorful traditions from the ages unknown, known as Onigafuchi village. Even their more recent verifiable examples of Watanagashi that occurred at the end of the Meiji era seem to have been done under their order of the Sonozaki family. Refer to the three families' genealogical tree from the late Meiji. After the start of the Meiji era, the Sonozaki family wanted to push the development of Hinamizawa village, so they took a strong role in leadership. During the Dams Wars a few years ago, the Kimiyoshi family served as the chair of the opposite alliance. But this was in name only. In actuality, the Sonozaki family reigned as leaders behind the scenes. People whispered that perhaps the Kimiyoshi family detected acts of opposition that could not be publicized, and the Sonozaki family enacted those which could not. Even in Hinamizawa, they whispered that the multitude of upsetting incidents reported during the dam project, such as the kidnapping of a famous head of the Ministry of Construction's son, had been carried out by the Sonozakis. Additionally, they say that perhaps the Sonozaki family's secret maneuvering was responsible for the serial freak deaths incident that had continuously occurred in recent years as well. The serial freak deaths incidents are, without a doubt, the second coming of the traditional Watanagashi. They must have enacted the Watanagashi on the day of the original Watanagashi. That's such a weird sentence. Which had fallen to the level of an ordinary village festival in order to remind the villagers of the holy law of Onigafuchi village. It's safe to assert that exploring the Sonozaki family in the Fastest route for research is today. If I can expose the contents of the Furuta Shrine's storehouse, I'd like to narrow my research target to the Sonosaki family next. The Sonosaki house is strictly guarded by security cameras on the premises, but thankfully I've become acquainted with the sister Mion, the next heir, and Shion. I want this to be a breakthrough I can connect to my next line of research. Wait, so the person writing this is familiar with Shion and Mion. They, them are very much like associated with them. Has like gained their trust and is kind of like a friend to them. Okay. Interesting. Alright, their punishment isn't over. And it shows like the festival?
いえいえ、気にしないでくださいよ。この店でおでん、なぜか年計のガソリンスタンドの請求書に化けちゃうんですよ。だから遠慮しないでもう一杯飲んでいけばいいのに。
The man, red-faced, waved his hand to say that he'd had enough and disappeared into the brilliant neon lights in front of the station.
クマちゃんも勉強しといてくださいよ。謙虚な人が結局一番長生きするんです。
さっきの話。
Was all that true?
さて、それはわからないですけどね。真偽はともかく、そういう話がまことしやかに流れてるってことには意味があると思いますよ。
そんなのが村長を狙う動機になりうるんすかね。
クマちゃん、いつも言ってるでしょ。動機っていうのは、その本人に十分でありさえすれば足りるんです。価値観の違いをよく考えなくちゃ。あ、お母さん、もう一杯ください。
Though we have been suppressing the information, Tomitaka-san and Takano's deaths were already known throughout Hinamizawa. All of the rumors pointed to them having incurred the wrath of Oyashiro-sama for the setting foot in the Forbidden Temple, the storehouse of ritual implements. According to the rumors, there were two people who went in there with them, Shion Sonozaki and Keiichi Maibara. People were whispering in the shadows that those two would be cursed by the Oyashiro-sama as well. Apparently, however, the responsibility didn't fall solely on the four trespassers' shoulders. Until last year, it was locked up tight, but this year it had been changed to a simple lock. Hadn't that been what allowed the thieves to enter so easily? Those were the rumors going around.
クマちゃんは見たことありませんか？私はずいぶん前に何かのようで行った時に見たことをよく覚えてます。
すみません。そ
りゃもうおっかないくらいに厳重に施錠してありましてね。まるで大金庫みたいに厳重な蔵だったんですよ。
So was the mayor the one who switched the lock, which made it easier for them to sneak in? Because if it was, then that's actually a reason why he would get like them in the way. This year, it was a very simple, cheap padlock. The lone girl protecting the shrine, Rika Furuta, disliked the heavy locks and consulted with the mayor. Oh my goodness! Who had replaced it with a simpler padlock. Oh my goodness! So that means, like, Shion and Keiichi independently told both of those characters that they had snuck into the storehouse, which is why they personally think like, oh, we're responsible for them gonna get disappeared. But maybe this is why they got disappeared, is because they are the ones who actively was like, oh, let's change the lock.
その可能性は大ですね。ひなみ沢を巡回している覆面者に至急連絡。フルテ神社近辺に張り付かし。了解っす。
Oh my god, damn, I kind of want to read the next chapter, but I'm kind of like, my voice is giving up. Oh fuck, should I just see what happens like right at the beginning? I might just see what happens right at the beginning because I am a little curious. After heading up hanging up on Shion, I searched for Rika-chan's phone number on my school contact list. There it is. My finger trembled with urgency, and I failed multiple times to put into simple 5-digit number.
圭一、こんな時間に電話？夜遅くは先方に失礼だからよしな。
今はそれどころじゃないんだよ。
I shouted angrily at my mother, listening to the dial tone. Pick up, come on, pick up, pick up. Shut up, Mom! You're annoying! What time? It was 11 p.m. It certainly wasn't early. It was essentially the middle of the night. Had Rika-chan already gone to bed? Her phone would be ringing consistently though, so would she get back up for me? Rika-chan didn't pick up. She didn't pick up. She didn't pick up. Maybe she just happened to miss it. Maybe her bed was just too far away for the phone. The sound of the phone ringing gets clearer and clearer the longer you go on sleeping. Then, the bathroom? Yeah, she must be taking a bath. If that was the case, then even if she heard the phone, she wouldn't be able to pick it up. It was a little late to be taking a bath, but it's possible she normally took a bath right before going to bed. I'll wait to 30 minutes, then try calling again. Ooh, that's kind of a stress. That's a sad. That's a sad. Like the way Keiichi was saying, like, oh, she did this, which is why she's not picking up. All right. I think I'm gonna save. I don't think I'm gonna go any further. Yeah, I'll just continue from this one. But yeah, that was a pretty decent chapter. Not as good as last chapter. I think last chapter was a little bit better. This chapter was pretty good though. We got a couple. The Shion call scene, the Shion phone call scene. The acting on that was really good. The conversation on that was really good, and that was actually really scary and stressful. The Rika scene was pretty stressful too. I just think I like the flow of the previous chapter a little bit more, but this one was pretty good too. There was definitely a lot more voice acting in this one, so I didn't speak as much, so obviously that might have bothered some people. But yeah, I'm just gonna end it there today. Hopefully I'll stream maybe tomorrow or the day after, and we'll see what happens next. Really been enjoying the series, of course. Been enjoying it. Hopefully anyone who watches enjoys it too. So thank you for watching, and take care. Bye.